So final one for session is starting now. So the session title is Maximizing the Power of Widget Tree, Enhancing your Flutter Apps Without Packages. And it will be presented by Tsuyoshi Chujo. So please give him a big round of applause.
Okay, first let me run my slide deck. And so far, we have enjoyed a lot of speech about a lot of various kind of topics. So in my talk, let's get back to the core of the Flutter framework. It's a widget tree. So let's get started. I'm Tsuyoshi Chujo. And first, let me start my timer. Okay. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Tsuyoshi Chujo. Many call me Chuyan because Tsuyoshi is very difficult for me, especially for the non-Japanese. So you can call me Chuyan, okay? And so I'm a freelance Flutter developer in Japan. I'm Japanese, and yeah, I'm developing Flutter apps with the experience of 5 years. And I'm also providing technical advice recently. And for example, I'm developing this one, LibMap app, and I'm supporting StudyPlus. Both are the sponsors of this event. And I'm an author of Crop Your Image. It's a Flutter package providing crop widget for cropping images feature. Let me ask, do you know this package's name? Who knows the name of the package? Some, oh, more than I expected. Thank you. So this one is the package to, let me introduce some quick introduction. So this one is the FlutterNinjas logo here. And yeah, we can swipe and zoom in, zoom out, and choose the area to crop, and just crop. Okay, so we can embed the cropping images feature in our wherever in our apps with the whatever design. So if you are interested in it, just go to the PubDev page here, and I'm happy if you try it and hit the like button. Okay, let's go back. And I'm a conference speaker in Japan, and I'm in a challenge of becoming the speaker of a lot of abroad conferences. Okay. So this one is my first time to speak in English. So let me try. So here is some links of mine, and GitHub here, and I have Hashnote pages here. Unfortunately, I just published 1 or 2 articles yet, but I'm trying to add some more mainly about the Flutter framework or some packages, how they are working, okay? And then here, it's a Japanese platform for tech articles. Yeah. So let's go to the content. We have I will talk about the widget tree, and we have 3 steps here. The first one is the introduction to widget tree under the hood. So I will talk about what is the widget tree and how it is working under the hood. So the second one is built-in widgets and their ideas. So I will introduce some widgets like navigator or theme that leverages the widget tree. So to get the idea of how we can enhance our own widget. Okay. So the third one is the one more option to enhance our widget. So in that second step, we get the ideas from the built-in widgets, and the third one is the case study to enhance the how we can improve the widget implementation of the widgets. So let's go to the first one. before we are going to start talking about widget tree, let me talk about why we have to learn widget tree in detail. It is because to get precise understanding for how Flutter works. And the precise understanding helps us avoid overkilling issues we face on our daily development. Actually, we have a lot of awesome packages like Riverboat or like Provider or some other state management packages and other animation packages for, we can, and a lot of hacks are on the website, but sometimes they are not for solving our exact issues for our own. So sometimes it potentially overkill the issue, and the drawbacks can be bigger than benefit. So getting one more option. By learning widget tree, we can get one more option to solve solve each problem, and it makes our app more maintainable and testable. So, I believe all of us already know what widget is and what widget tree is. We have the picture of the widget tree on the left-hand side, like this. And in Flutter, everything is a widget, and widgets form a widget tree, and everything is a widget. Like state is also managed on the widget tree by default with the stateful widget or inherited widget. And revealing or layouts and focus or semantics, as Manuela said yesterday, they are all from the widget and widget tree. So everything is done on the widget tree. It's high, hidden. Everything is done on the widget tree, especially on the relationship between ancestors and descendants. But that's not the case in reality. If we go into the implementation source code of the widget, we soon find that we don't have any reference to parents or children. So widget don't have a reference to parent and nor the children, and so widgets cannot form the tree. So who does form the tree? Here's where element comes in. Element and build context comes in. So what is element? So element is an instantiation of a widget according to FlutterDoc. So widget is just a configuration. Widget just preserves the initial parameters and its child or build method. And element actually does everything about the widget, about the tree. So every single widget creates its associate element via create element, and element preserves the reference to the widget. So widget and element is always a pair. One widget creates element, and one element have the reference to one widget. Okay. So element preserves the reference to its parent, and the logic to visit its children. So when we go to the source code of the element, there is a field named parent, and it also has a method named visit children. Okay. And so we can say that the element forms a tree in reality. So looking at the element is very important if we want to know how widget is working. So now next, so what is build context? So build context is an interface providing elements functionality based on the tree. It's the same object. Elements implements the build context. So it's exactly the same object, and element has a lot of methods, not only for for managing the tree, but also managing the rebuilding or some other debugging things. So some of the methods of the element is not supposed to be called by us app developers. So build context limit the interface so that we can only call the relevant method related to the tree. So we have the picture of the widget tree and the element tree on the right-hand side, and we can compare the difference. As I said, widget don't have a reference or any relations between the parent and children, but element does. And yeah, widgets, like for example, we highlight material app. It creates the element named stateful element because the material app is the subclass of stateful widget. And stateful element preserves the reference to material app. Okay. So yeah, it's the same story as for the other widgets. So why they form the tree? So here I prepared the example of leveraging the tree. It's a navigator. Maybe all of us already know navigator.ofContext method, right? So if we want to navigate to some other page or get back from another page, we have to call this method, and we have to get the relevant navigator state object, right? To calling the push or pop method. So in that case, what is happening? How can I get the navigator state object? So I prepared the tree again here. So if I pass the context, it's an element of like this one. So the context, the navigator.ofContext traverses ancestors up from the given context. So it's starting with the left bottom one and go up, and finally it finds the navigator state. And also, if we pass the element of that one, it also can traverse up the widget tree and find the same navigator state object, as long as they are descendants of the navigator. So what is calling this method with the context of this one? Because the element of material app doesn't have a navigator state above that, so it cannot find the navigator state, and it ends up with the error. So that was the brief introduction to the widget tree. So let's go ahead to the built-in widget, introduction to the built-in widgets and their ideas. So I have 3 example widgets here, and the first one is navigator again. So as I mentioned, navigator has a .static of method and to retrieve a relevant navigator state, but what is happening exactly inside the method? So let's dive into the source code, and we can find that it calls context.findAncestor state of type T. This is the method. This is the method of the build context, and it tries to find the state of given T. This one. So the state is the state of the stateful widget. Maybe all of us already know, use the stateful widget and implement its state object, state class, and that one. So if we pass the navigator state as t and call this method, the context will try to traverse up and tries to find the widget associated with navigator state. It's a navigator widget. So that's why navigator.of can retrieve the navigator state object. And the providing .of method is a common pattern in Flutter framework because, when we are thinking of calling the finding ancestor state of type t method, we have some problems here because simply the name of the method is very long and we don't want to type, and we have to know the type of t. So if we want to get the navigator state, we have to know the type of the relevant object is navigator state. So navigator is the very famous one. So we can say that navigator state is necessary, but we have a lot of widgets and its associated state objects. So we cannot know what the name of the state class. So the providing .of method is the responsibility for the widget. It's navigator here. So the next example is theme. Theme also provides the static .of method to retrieve the theme data, which is preserved by theme, but the implementation is slightly different. So when we open the source code of theme.of, its calls depend on inherited widget of exact type t. It's longer than the previous one. So, so what is the different from the find ancestor state of type and depend on inherited widget of exact type? So there are 3 differences. And 2 differences are on this page, and 1 is on the next page. And the first difference is this method tries to find the inherited widget with type of the given t. So if I pass this one, inherited theme, this method tries to get the inherited widget of type this one, inherited theme. And the second difference is it also makes the inherited widget, this one, theme here, to reveal the context when the inherited widget is revealed. So once some widget tries to find this theme, and after that, when the theme is revealed with another updated theme data, the theme also tries to reveal some widget, and if we have another widget depending on the theme, it also tries to reveal this one. So it is very important for achieving the declarative UI building because the state and UI is always the UI always have to follow the state, and once state is changed, UI have to be changed. So this mechanism is very, very core to achieve the Flutter's UI building. And the final one, third one is the last but not least, the find ancestor state of type. This one is the previous one. Looks up ancestors one by one. So it affects the depth of the widget tree, affects the speed of this method. But on the other hand, depend on inherited widget of exact type t, returns one from direct references of the hash map, this one. So every element has this field, inherited elements, with the type of persistent hash map, and key is type, and the value is inherited element. So let's say if this widget, this element, sorry for the bottom one, and this element tries to find the default text style or media query above the widget tree, it can find those inherited widget regardless of the depth of the widget tree. So, but there are one thing we have to know, that because the key of the inherited element is type, so and hash map cannot have multiple values with the same key. So if the element has like multiple inherited widget with the same type, it cannot preserve the both of them. So it only have the closest inherited element in the inherited elements. So it can only find this default text style, and it cannot find default text style here. So this is why the provider package, by the way, the provider package cannot have multiple state objects of the same type, and it's one of the motivations to developing Riverbot package. Am I right? Maybe right. And yeah, so yeah, this is because the provider is the wrapper of the inherited widget. So yeah, it suffers the same problem. So the third one is third example I would introduce is PopScope, but I don't have a lot of time now, so I just skip it. It's not important. So I have a lot more examples like notification listener or hero or draggable, but yeah, you can. I don't have a lot of time to introduce. So yeah, let's go to the third topic. So one more option to enhance our widget. So case study, we have tiny clock here. It's a tiny clock. And we can change the color of the clock like this. So how can I pass the configuration of the color to tiny clock? I will take some tea and you can think about that. So the first option is very simple. Just use arguments. We can prepare the constructor with the argument of that kind of character colors, and just pass the state to the constructor. And widget can use that parameters in like just say background color as a field from the field. So this pattern is very straightforward and easy to understand, and everyone would do that. But there are some drawbacks here. We need to write the same code multiple times if I have multiple tiny clocks on the subtree, right? If we have 3 tiny clocks on the UI, we have to pass the same. We have to write exact the same code at 3 times. And we need prop drilling. I don't know this word is correct or not, but yeah, we need prop drilling if tiny clock is far away from the widget tree from stateful widget. So let's say if the state is here and tiny clock is below the widget tree, and some kind of wrapper widget is between them, we have to pass the wrapper widget first. We have to pass the state to wrapper widget first, and wrapper widget have to pass again to the tiny clock. So it is kind of boilerplate code, and it makes the maintainability less maintainable. Okay. And yeah, proper drilling is called buckets relay in Japanese. Maybe all Japanese know buckets relay, right? So here comes option 2. use depend on inherited widget of exact type T. So I introduced theme widget in the previous slide. So we can do the exact same thing like this. We provide .of method with static and call depend on inherited widget of exact type with the type of clock theme like this, and return the clock theme data from preserved by the inherited widget. Then the tiny clock can retrieve the theme by calling clock theme.of this method. So we don't need to pass the configuration through the arguments, so we don't need to write again and again. So write once and apply to all descendants, and we don't need prop drilling, and it also makes us easy to make a container with relevant theme. So let's say we want to make the container of night mode, like night mode container, and everything inside the container would be night mode. In that case, we can just create the relevant theme with night mode inside the night mode container, and just place the theme like night mode container and the clock theme and the given tiny clock like this. So tiny clock can always apply the night mode. But there's also drawbacks. It's difficult to understand who and how the theme is applied because there is no direct relationship when we see the source code. And the last case is how to change from descendants, because tiny clock is independent from each pages in this slide deck. So it's here and managed by stack, and this page is here. So how can change the tiny clock theme from these descendants? Option 1, use state management package. So we have a lot of options for state management package like Riverboat or GetX or MoveX or some others. So and they are independent from the widget tree. So tiny clock can watch the state. This page update that state, and state will update the tiny clock, reveal the tiny clock automatically. So it's easy, and those packages are powerful enough, and it's easy to code. But there's also drawbacks. We need extra dependency to the package. It will introduce the problem of the less testing, or we need some trick to test. So here comes the next, the option 2 here. So use find ancestor state of type T. Then my app, so by my app preparing the .of method like that, this page can find the my app widget by calling .of method and update the theme with the prepared update method like this one. And my app can update and reveal the tiny clock. So the benefit here is we don't need extra dependencies to the packages or some other hacks. And everything is done on the widget tree, so we can easily manage the life cycles or relationship between this page and tiny clock. But there's also cons, like boilerplate code of implementing the .of method or implementing the stateful widget. So at last, so which option to use? Which option is the best practice? It depends on each cases. They are just options in the end. So conclusion. We have a lot of options, like we have packages and we have widget tree, and widget tree is powerful enough to solve frequently facing problems. And Flutter provides us a lot of samples to know how we can maximize the power of the widget tree. So we can go to the source code of Navigator or theme or some other widgets. And yeah, we can get a lot of insights and knowledge from that. So we always have multiple options, so choose the most relevant one depending on the each cases. And yeah, open framework.dart by hitting F12 button on your IDE. The document and implemented source code is always next to me, so feel free. Yeah, it's very easy to get more insight from the Flutter framework. And yeah. So that's it. So enjoy widget tree and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your insightful presentation with slides built by Flutter. It's interesting. So we have a question and answer time. So if you have any questions.
We still have 7 stickers. Only you can get by asking a question.
Limited sticker, right? Limited version.
Yeah, thank you for the talk. It was really interesting.
Thank you.
What is your favorite package for state management?
My favorite package is Riverbot. I always use that. And actually, 90% of the Japanese project uses Riverbot. So yeah, we are very happy to meet Remy today.
How long did it take you to create this presentation? This is all in Flutter, correct?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to create this?
It took almost the same as creating the slide deck with the with Google Slides or PowerPoint. It's like not less than twice, but maybe 1.5 times like that. Maybe 5 hours. I don't remember the exact time.
It's very impactful. It's very cool.
Yeah, I'm using the Flutter deck package for creating this one, and it's very awesome to put some trick like this or trick like this, because it's a totally Flutter app running on the Mac. So yeah, we can do anything on Flutter app.
Very cool.
We have 6 now.
So I think in Flutter deck, the tiny clock is not there. You added that.
Tiny clock is, I made this one for this presentation.
Thank you. That's good. Yeah.
Actually, I skipped, but I have a repository of the this slide deck here on my GitHub. And also, in addition, I created another package named Graph Your Widget Tree. It's a package to render this kind of widget tree on the Flutter. Actually, it's useless in the daily Flutter app development. It's totally it's for only slide decks, but you can read those kind of source codes for receiving the insights to how to use widget tree, I guess.
Thank you. It's really cool, like how you show the demo of cropping and the tiny one. Yeah.
I like demo.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your presentation is very engaging.
Thank you.
So actually, I'm working for NTT Docomo. My company has tons of beginner engineers, also Flutter engineers. So many engineers are struggling with studying Flutter. Which is it better? Studying about widget, as you said, over studying developing something. So do you think which is better?
I would say as long as if you want to learn that's the best entry point to learn something. Because I was talking about this one because I love Widget and I love to read the internal implementation of the Flutter framework. I also read a lot of the implementation provider or report that give me a lot of insights to me. So I love doing that kind of thing. But we have a lot of we had a lot of topics in this conference, right? And actually everything is very new to me. So I don't know much about that kind of thing because I just focusing on this topic. So I don't say I'm I never say I'm a brilliant engineer, but just interested in this topic. So whatever you are interested in, it is very good topic to learn, I guess.
Thank you so much. So actually, many engineers in NTT Docomo read your article so to learn about Flutter widget. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for the presentation. I actually have read your article before, and I found it very, informative. So thank you. I have a question. Do you have any favorite architecture?
For architecture, it also depends. So if I'm not very bright about architecture, so I just read the book of the green architecture. That's it. So I like to think about the dependency of the modules, but I don't think applying some specific architecture to all the apps are not relevant. So so I don't have some specific my favorite architecture. I don't have.
Which architecture would you take if you are to make a complicated app?
It also depends how it's complicated and because the architecture cannot be decided based on the size of the apps. Another factors also affect the right decision of architecture, like also members of the project or the direction of the business or some other factors. A lot of factors we have to think about. So it depends.
Okay, thank you.
And I also don't know much about the patterns of the architecture, so I don't know a lot of the architecture names. So
Thank you.
What architecture do you use for this presentation?
Nothing. Because I implemented this slide deck. This disappeared already. As Flutter deck told to me, says in their documentation. So there's nothing.
Anything else? Thank you. So thank you for very insightful sessions and Q&A. So please give him a big round of applause, please. So all the sessions are over. So we have a short break until 6:30, but we have additional special content, which is a panel discussion by big speakers. So please take some break and gather together later. Thank you.